Imagine if you hired a babysitter to watch your child. And after the babysitter left, you ask your child what you talked about during the day, and your child says something very disturbing. They say, "The babysitter told me that your principles and your sense of morality are completely backward, even hateful. They told me that your belief in God is irrational, and it sets the foundation for everything else that you believe being completely irrational. Yeah, I'm a boy, but the babysitter told me I'm not a boy or a girl, and I'm only 5 or 6 years old, but the babysitter told me it's okay for a boy to have sex with a boy." And I said, "Wait, the babysitter talked to you about sex?" And she said, "Yes, we have to talk about these things because if we don't, society will become very intolerant." And you say, "Well, I don't want anyone talking to you about sex, whether it's boys and boys or boys and girls, because that's not age appropriate for sexual development. That's not something that a child could fully comprehend, and having conversations at such a young age can definitely cause psychological damage." And then your child says, "The babysitter told me that you're filled with a lot of hatred. That you said that you wanted that Trump guy to build a wall, and the babysitter told me anyone who supports the building of a wall, it's because they hate people that are a different color." And you say, "They said what?" "Yeah, and I don't know why you're a racist, Mom, Dad." "What else did the babysitter tell you?" "The babysitter told me that you are a very selfish person, that you're not charitable." "Why would the babysitter say I'm selfish and not charitable?" "Well, they said that whenever you're talking about taxes and you're saying that you think that the taxes are too high and that they should be lowered, what you're really saying is that you don't want poor people to have shelter and you don't want poor people to have food." And you say, "Well, son, well, daughter, the conversation is a lot more nuanced than that. But you're just a little child, and these concepts are very hard to understand, and now you're being told from a very young age that these views make you hateful. These views mean that you're a bad person, so you shouldn't hold them. Even though these concepts are very complex and deserve a great deal of attention and nuance. Would you keep that babysitter?" Because after I spoke with them, I would definitely fire that babysitter. "Well, if you would fire that babysitter, why on earth? For the life of me, I can't understand. I mean, I do. I talk about cultural norms and how difficult a time people have deviating from culture norms all the time on this channel. But for the life of me, I can't understand why, if you would fire this babysitter, you would send your child to a classroom 5 days a week for 8 hours a day for 10 months a year through all of their formative years for the first 15 to 20 years of their life. And not only would they attend this school and be provided this messaging that your principles and your morality are backwards, that they make you a bad person, they make you hateful. They'll be told this by people that they are coached to believe are authorities, their teachers. And their classmates who, just like them, fall victim to this messaging, well, their classmates will have the views of the teacher. And if your child is still strong enough to think freely and say, I don't know, my dad, my mom told me something different about taxation, well, then all of their peers, and we are social animals who look for approval, will take the teacher's cue and they'll apply immense social pressure. They'll tell your children that they are filled with hate. For the life of me, I cannot understand why we as a society accept the notion that we should give the minds of our children to people who will tell them, who will indoctrinate them into a belief system that your sense of morality, that your principles are backwards and hateful. If you want to change the country, change starts at home. Do what has to be done and stop sending your children to government schools. Send them to private school, or even better, homeschool your child and just make it work.